Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Who else are we missing tonight?
We're missing
Rebecca.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
Here.
The other Rebecca.
You're Becky. See, that's how you gotta
That's how I
keep
do
it
it,
separate.
yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll make the public input statement for all of the public.
We have no public.
Oh, wait a minute. We're missing Travis as well. Yeah. Right?
Yes, she's at the,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
if we happen to have any public input, since we're only having one session today,
Talk louder.
louder?
No,
Oh.
I have public.
Oh, you
Oh.
do have public input, okay. So we're limiting to 3 minutes. Please state your name and the town you're from. We'll go from there.
It's always good at such a packed house.
Hi, I'm Terry Wright from Berwick, Maine. I'm here to let the audience know about a class reunion we have coming up, class of 79. It is celebrating on May 4th at Village by the Sea. They can reach out to me via Facebook, or they can email us at noblenightsclassofseventy9@gmail.com, which we've set up. We are sending out notices, and deadline to register is April 1st. The second thing I have, which has nothing to do with the class reunion, is calendars for your district.
Working on it.
So, interesting little thing last night. I went to the Noble Middle School for a concert. Because on the Noble Middle School site, it says concert, but it doesn't say it at Noble High School. And on the Noble High School calendar, nothing there.
Okay.
So I'm like unloading and getting ready, and nobody's here, and someone says, oh, it's at the high school. So now I'm rushing up here to get, could we kind of just
Yeah.
something rolling so that I'm not getting mistaken?
We don't have a master district schedule someplace with all those events on it.
Yes, we do.
Where would it be
Could
located?
shared.
Is it on the website someplace?
Jen could share that out with you. It's got more than just those things. It's got some other things on it too. that-
And I don't mind going to the two calendars, but when neither one listed, it's a little
Yeah.
bit difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would recommend we do that.
Good point. Thank you.
Then put it online for all the major stuff anyway.
Well, I'd like to know, and too, because there's some things I'd like to come to, and I don't have kids in school right now,
never
so
hear
I never
anything.
know if anything's happening, so.
Well, most of it is, you know, that's a little on the unusual side that was missed, but there are calendars that do contain 90% of what's going on.
I think we just need to clarify with the calendars that the location is the right location. So if the middle school calendar, we'll make sure the locations are assigned, to be sure. Any of the large concerts are happening here at the high school because of exactly what we got tonight. All of these,
So we don't have one central person who schedules the big venues in the district?
we
No.
do.
Oh,
Well, we have
one
for this
for this facility.
facility, yeah.
But the big venues in the district, like middle school, gym, library
no.
here.
There are people in each building that take care of those particular venues.
So this is probably what happened tonight. But so the big major events are not scheduled on the same night because there's no communication between buildings.
Oh, no, it's not like that. Usually what happens is the secretaries, for instance, let's say it's Therese or somebody at the middle school who oversees that calendar. They go on and they check the high school calendar and work with them to find out what dates are available. And then they book it.
Okay.
But the concert dates are scheduled back, and those are scheduled in September. You have to book anything that's going to be in Hussey Theater very early on
Right.
because we have dates that, a lot of dates that are used by outside groups. And
So
it's-
can you go on to the high school website and see what the Hussey schedule is for the
Well,
year?
I would have said you could, but I'm going to say that there was something missing from it.
I'm on the high school calendar right now, so the concert is not on there for tonight.
But the 8th grade dance is for tomorrow night. But that's
Yeah.
here.
So we'll check
We'll
it
see what
out.
we can
My
do.
hope is that something was just missed, and, you know, most of the time people, I'm not hearing from a lot of people saying I can't find when things are. Now, I know lots of times it's because there are folks that are in those schools that are receiving messages and reminds, and so the remind system went out. That's another thing, if Terry's on the remind, she would get those notifications.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
There was some word going around that Verizon
It's not
users. It's not true.
No, I was talking with Chris Russo about it today, and he said some gobbledygook technology stuff to me and said that's not going to be an issue.
Oh. Great.
If I gave it to you, Lynn, you could translate it for me. How's that?
Okay, any more public input? All righty, minutes of the January 3rd meeting. Anybody see any corrections? Typos?
I think it said that I was there and I was not there.
Ah, okay, you're the person. We were trying to figure, Jen and I were looking at that and going, who did we miss on this? Okay, so Rebecca, were you there on the 20th? No, that was January
No,
3rd,
January
I'm
3rd.
sorry. January 3rd, the last meeting?
It
Yes.
said everybody was present except Ms. Hopper.
Right, so that was where it was Miss Manley
And I was
So you were,
and Mr. and Miss Schaefer.
and, yes, so that's what I had in my notes, was, that what I had in my handwritten note was that
Start right now.
it
Students
was
with
you
Vicky.
and you. And then she, but it wasn't, you were here, though. All right, so it was Lynn, yeah, so it was my handwritten notes that messed that one up. Okay, so we will take care of that.
Anything else? Anybody sees? Okay, then, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes
It's always-
as amended. I know, because no one else does.
Someone to second?
Please, anyone else?
Dustin, just be,
Second, down there. All in favor of accepting the minutes as amended?
I thought we were on a silent strike. Let them do some of the work.
Opposed?
wait,
Abstained?
how many hands did I just see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands, and 2
And 2
abstains?
abstentions.
Okay, great. And that was Lynn and Estrella. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Could you have my
So
share
next-
recorded?
This stupid thing open again.
Or maybe, Denise, do you have, did William share a report with you tonight, or?
I believe he emailed.
I'm looking
Sue.
right now. I didn't see it earlier, but let me check. Yeah, I still don't have anything.
Okay.
All right.
I'm checking email. I didn't check.
He,
Usually it comes
he said he
through.
had emailed it to you.
Well, even if it came through a doc, you'd still get the email.
I will, let me check.
Let me look at.
Pass the calendars around while
Nope, I
we're
don't have anything.
And it's Sue dot Austin.
Yep.
You?
Anything works. Susan.Austin, Sue.Austin, S.Austin. Just send them all to me.
Yes, I know, okay. So do you want to move to that?
I guess so, yeah.
Alrighty.
Go to the,
Okay, so this is just draft 1 to get a calendar on, to get a draft of a calendar on a piece of paper or an electronic device. And it has the 175 student days listed. It has 181 teacher days. So if for instance, if Chuck from the association or Jamie are looking at it saying, it's got 181, there's one day that's a flex day, but we still list it in the calendar, even though it's not an actual day at the end of the year that the teachers do. They do it throughout the year on approved projects. So we're currently 2 days out of sync with Sanford, which is December 20th and April 17th. but we're not going to cause any of the 8 sending districts to be out of sync because those 2 dates are in other people's contracts. So it's not really MSAD 60 causing it. And what I need to do is have a conversation with Chuck and Jamie again this year about the 2 days before the school year for next year. We're in that situation
How
where.
did that work? How did that work this year? I mean,
Bless you. So I think we had like 95% of the staff came to the.
in August?
Yeah, the first 2 days. And then we had maybe a dozen folks that were working on projects at central office with me on December 21st. And it was a really good day for those folks too. So, whatever's flexibility, whatever's going to work, we try to meet
I
both
figured
ends.
if they didn't like it, we would have heard from the union by now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't think they're excited about it, saying, well, you can offer an option. You're not requiring anybody to
Right.
come in, but we wish this wasn't a situation. I'm in the same boat. I wish it wasn't a situation, but if we don't start, so we've got the projected start date is the 3rd. If we can't start contractually with teachers prior to that, unless it's an option, I'd have to do the 3rd and the 4th, then we would cause 2 days out of sync, just our district alone.
so are you saying that April 17th, SRTC is not in session?
SRTC will be in session, I believe, and anytime there's an out-of-sync day, the districts that have the out-of-sync day send their students. So even though we don't have school that day,
They're
we'll
still
still
doing their.
go do the route and pick up our SRTC.
Because you have it here as them being not in session
Let
on
me
April
see.
17th.
Oh, I'm sorry, so I said that incorrectly. It's the first couple of days, the October 4th, let's see.
Yeah, they're not on the 4th because they
Yeah,
go to some
That's
conference
the
that day.
national conference.
Yep.
Okay, so SRT's, all right, so Jen has helped me out here. So SRT is not in session on that day, so it's not, we're not going to cause that. It's SRTC that's not going to be in session.
So they've already done that calendar in Sanford?
I did see the Sanford
Has it
calendar.
Been passed and all that
I
stuff?
don't believe so.
Because I didn't,
but-
I haven't seen anything.
I think it said draft.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've just gone on what we saw
Wow,
there.
well, that's nice. I'm not going to be there. What difference does it make to me? Anyway. I don't know why I worry about these things.
You did it? You retired?
Yeah, I am.
Good for you.
No kidding.
Good for you.
Okay, any questions on the calendar?
Are we going to be all set? I see you have quite a few snow days there, but it's,
Yes, so what we're going to do for next year is, according to newest state statute, they're going to allow districts, if you pre-plan in advance into your calendar, if you put at least 5 days in, you can, and if the board elects to, they can look at blizzard bags or student learning, or it's not called a distance learning, it's called something else there. So districts can say, do we want to try and pilot one of those for next year, or 2 of those for next year? So my hope would be that we don't have more than 5, but that's not looking good. We're already on 4 this year.
No kidding.
9 last, 8 the year before. So we're
There'll
not
be
seeing
luck out
that.
this weekend, I think, because we
And-
don't have
and-
school.
And next week, if we get the 36 to 40 inches that this
36 to
bombogenesis.
40? You're
Yeah.
gonna get 12 inches, it's gonna be okay.
We'd
You'll have to send a dog sled for me,
We'd
'cause-
be 3 days out of
Oh, yeah.
school on something like that. So we'll just keep the local forecast going and say they're correct and the national forecast is incorrect. And that was in USA Today when I read that. So I'll put forward what we'll plan, or what we'd like to plan to do in piloting. I'm going to promote that to you folks. And you folks will make a decision on, do you want to take a shot at that or not? And it's only for extreme days. It's not to replace any of the 5 days that are built into the calendar. So it's anything over.
But isn't it something you have to plan ahead of time? Like if you're going to do the
Yes.
blizzard bags, you've got to have them all distributed,
Right.
and you don't know when the snow day is going to come, so.
Well, so it would be that we would tell students that there's the potential of day 6 on tomorrow. So make sure you take this home with you. Now, for the high school students, a lot of that can go out electronically, but then,
True.
like, if we get that kind of snow we're supposed to get, we might get, there's going to be power outages and stuff, so you got situations there. But in Ohio, for instance, they've done this for 20 years. Massachusetts has done it for a few. New Hampshire's done it for
I
a
was going
few.
to say, I think New Hampshire, Vermont, one or the other of
Yeah,
them does that.
we're in a rare situation where we're not doing these kinds of days for heavy snow areas.
But we have to have a certain percentage of kids that participate, right, for it to
Well, the
work?
biggest factor was that the teachers have to be available to students on that day. So they have to either be online or they have to have a planned thing. They said, you could provide phone numbers. I'm not going to recommend that to people. Just going to say, plan to be on your classroom and be available.
What's the grade now that, what's the youngest grade that actually takes computers home?
So that is, so you can take them home in the, I want to say 6th grade, and we will have 1-to-1 next year, but I don't know if we'll use an actual, like a canvas blizzard bag that kids will take at the youngest levels with planned activities in them. I think, and maybe keep it right at 6th grade.
Does this assume that everybody has an internet connection at home?
It does. Now, families who don't, there's the E-rate piece, and there's the main school library network that can help families who do not have internet connection to be able to get that, and they can get financial support for it, too. So if somebody doesn't have it, how can we help them?
And, I mean, the good thing is you've got 5+ days to like get closer. It's not like it's going to be a random day in October with a snowstorm, and then all of a sudden you got to figure it out. Like,
Yeah. Now, if it's an event like, major, one of those 36-inch storms, and we end up, I remember when MSAD 6 was out for 5 or 6 straight days.
Yep.
Well, the kids didn't have that stuff in advance to take home, so it wouldn't have helped them. So it's not going to solve every situation, but it would probably come in handy for a day or two, because we know that in that to the 3rd week, maybe into the start of the 4th week of June, these places are hot.
Yeah.
They're not set up for that.
So the current, or I guess she's already been sworn in, head of Department of Education, Augusta, is for this? What is allowing this?
This came
or-
out from the DOE
What department?
itself
That's what I meant.
prior to Pender Macon
Okay.
being sworn in. So it actually preceded her,
Okay.
and I'm not sure that that's going to be something that, with the things that she's going to need, that she's probably going to tackle, I don't think that that's high on the radar. So I
because
think
the way
that's
it's
good.
written, it does kind of leave it up to the district.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to pilot it for next year.
Yeah.
No, this is just how we're going to do things from now on.
So we could say something like, okay, teachers, you have to have your blizzard bag done by December 15th or
Mhm.
January 1st or whatever.
Yep.
And do it that way.
Yeah.
I would be interested to try it, just to see
And it
how
could
many
be-
people participate and if,
Well, with the number of people who are using the classroom setup right now, the Google Classroom, there's a golden opportunity to get a lot of this stuff taken care of. Yep, power outages and so forth, there's always going to be questions about how some of that works. But that's why it's called a pilot, so try it out and see.
Okay.
I'm going to, somebody, let's see, I think it was either Susan Macri or Michelle Keniston. Michelle Keniston maybe knows someone who's been teaching in Ohio for a number of years and is going to get some information from me firsthand from Ohio. So that's going to, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then there was somebody down in Sanborn in New Hampshire that Sanborn or Sanbornville?
Sanbornville.
Sanbornville, and the Sanborn High?
No, they must go to Newt Ridge or someplace. I don't know where they go to. They
Okay.
don't have their own
Well,
high school.
there's an
Or Farmington, I don't know where they go.
assistant administrator there who I think I can get some more information out from.
Okay.
Is there schools in Maine right now that are piloting it? I thought I heard that there was like
Yeah,
So this
Kennebunk or
year,
something was piloted.
this year, the
Lewiston and Camden.
only, yeah, I was familiar with 3 places that were given permission to pilot, and that's Bangor, Lewiston, and...
Camden is the other one.
Oh, was it? I was
think so.
thinking RSU 21, maybe. Camden? Yeah, so there wasn't anything that came out that said, would anybody like to volunteer for a pilot? So I was a little surprised to see that, but hey, we'll take it. We'll see if we can do something with it.
So we haven't heard any feedback from the ones that are pilots in
No,
yet
because
this
they
year.
wouldn't have had any of those days yet.
Yeah.
It has to be after
After
that
your 5.
initial 5, yeah. Although it could be around the corner.
Could be next week, for all we know.
So the planning periods, the early release, late start days, are they already planned and booked? Or could we kind of suggest that grade levels get together and maybe think about how it might work? And
Yeah, there's a lot of the time is already booked into their, just into their school roadmaps so that they can maintain their continuity of their focus areas. But there is some flexibility in that. There's also staff meeting time that could potentially have some flexibility to talk about it. But I think most people are, I've only heard from a couple of teachers and an ed tech on the topic so far. I think everybody else is just waiting to say, so what's going to happen with this?
so somebody in charge of collecting information from places that have tried it? Or is that you?
Yeah, I assume that's the case, but I know that the DOE is at a skeleton force and rebuilding with the changeover. So I'm not sure exactly who to say is in charge of which piece right now.
Any other calendar questions?
And this is just on a piece of paper. I'm looking forward to receiving some feedback from the Teachers Association about the calendar as well, consulting with them on it, so we'll keep working on it.
Good.
It's not due till May 3rd, so we're all set.
Okay. All right. Employment, new hires, retirement, and resignation. None at this time. Is that 2 in a row?
I think it is.
Okay. All right. Other. We always have other.
I have one very quick other. I just wanted to hand out copies to you of this year's, this
I got one in the mail, actually.
sessions. Oh,
I
okay.
did too. I did
Oh,
too.
did you? You all
I got one in the
set?
mail.
All set? Okay, we're all set?
An amazing selection.
Oh, there are some courses in there that
Yeah.
I can't saying I need the time for this one. I still want to do the whittling one. Yes, that's it
I'd
for
cut
me.
myself. I'd be dangerous. That's it
Yes.
for others? Any of us have others?
I just want to say that give kudos to the Huzzy School for their production that they just did. It was absolutely awesome. The amount of people in there, though, was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The auditorium was overflowing.
Is that the perspective of a fireman or?
No perspective from a fireman for official reasons. But they did a great job. It went very well.
Nice.
I just got the student report.
Okay.
Would you like me to share? Okay, so I'm speaking on behalf of William. Admin has approved our request to add a winter spirit week and pep rally, which will be held the week after finals with an across-the-country theme with different regional-based activities and clothing. The pep rally plan is being put into place this week. This year, all of the winter athletes will get to be recognized at the pep rally in our efforts to recognize and include everyone. Progress on the breakfast cart is moving slow, but it is coming along. Spanish Honor Society is planning a new form of culture night involving a possible wax museum, and other activities. They are also planning another movie night for the elementary schoolers. Overall, students are very stressed right now because of the midterms, but all is well for the most part.
Which is, what, next week?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, everybody's, I think, feeling a little bit ready to be done.
And they're all going, come on, snow, come on.
I know, well, it's not good.
Because
They
you
want to
don't
get it
realize
done.
They just want to get it
I
over
think
with?
they just want to get it over with.
Yeah,
because
it's
if
not-
it delays, then it somehow messes up Spirit Week after that. is my understanding.
And the teachers definitely don't want it to
They
impact,
just
because it
wanna-
changes schedules 1,000 times.
I think
Yeah.
last year it got bumped maybe, and I think they just want to know what their schedule is
Yeah,
and,
don't want
Get
to
it
mess up
over
the
with,
second
yeah.
semester before it starts.
yeah.
Anyone else have another? Nobody others?
All right.
Okay, so we have to go, we're gonna do it here, or we're gonna move?
We're going to move back down because all the resources that I have are down there.
Okay. So at this time, we're gonna go into executive session, but we're gonna go to the other room. No, we
No.
will not be coming back.
No more regular business.
There'd be no votes or
So do we need to move now? Make the motion now?
Somebody
Go to
needs to make a
to go.
motion to go to this.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to negotiations, 1 MRSA 4056D, labor contract discussion, support staff, and AFL-CIO, and
So we do need to do the
Then,
other one too at this time. And
so,
then read the,
well-
we're gonna do another one after that.
I gotta move forward with that motion before I take the next motion, right?
I'll second the first motion.
Ms. Ginger.
Oh,
All in favor? Okay, next.
And then we're also gonna go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A, evaluation of an employee, superintendent evaluation, superintendent's conference room.
I will second motion.
All in favor? Okay,
All those against?
we are moving.
All right.